All right. Hello and welcome to part 2 of our series for OCD Awareness Week, where we're going to talk about recovery and what that means and how to achieve recovery. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, please do that, or go back and listen to it or watch it, because it's what I'm going to talk about today is going to build on that. Also, just a heads up, we have the Kindle book on Amazon this week for 99 cents. And so we're doing that as part of just getting helpful material out for OCD Awareness Week. So just made the book 99 cents. There's a little link in the notes if you've seen our emails. We just sent it out as well. Please go check that out and get your copy. And I really would appreciate it if you just take the time to write a nice review about the book if you like it. Because it's really just going to help the ranking of the book and getting that book in more people's hands. And so if you could help us out, I would really appreciate that as well. And then also, if you benefit from the show, please like, subscribe, leave a nice review, leave a nice comment on iTunes. All that stuff helps us so much. So we talked about this idea of recovery in the episode yesterday, or in part 1. And what I want to talk about today is this idea of where recovery is. Because what a lot of people do is they think recovery is in the future somewhere. And they're chasing it. Like this mythological unicorn, right? It's like, I'm going to get to recovery. I'm going to get there. And in some respects, I guess it's true. In some respects, it's not. Because what recovery really is when we talk about breaking the loop, recovery is the absence of the loop. The loop if the loop doesn't exist, that is recovery. Now, that doesn't mean that's necessarily going to reflect your individual experience. Let me explain what I mean. So, a lot of people, they misidentify recovery as no thoughts, no feelings when it comes to OCD and anxiety. I don't want intrusive thoughts and I don't want feelings. That's recovery to them. And that belief is actually what keeps them stuck. Because the moment a thought or feeling pops up into their experience that they don't like or they don't want or perceive to be bad, they engage in a safety behavior that paradoxically keeps them stuck. So it's not that recovery is not possible. It's just that our belief structures are often the things that paradoxically keep us stuck. So when we understand recovery is the absence of the loop, and the way we break the loop is by engaging in no behaviors, then what you understand is that recovery is a choice. It's a present moment choice. If I'm not doing behaviors right now, today, I'm practicing recovery. I'm practicing recovery. Now, if I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety or a lot of intrusive thoughts, there's a high likelihood that I've been practicing a lot of poor mental health practices up to this point, and I'm experiencing the results of that presently. And if I want to experience better mental health, and when I say the future, the thing is the future is just kind of an abstract concept because it doesn't actually exist. Like, you never get to the future, right? There's just always the present moment unfolding in front of us. Now, our minds, to make sense of the world we live in the time-space continuum, categorize things as past, future, and present. But the only thing that actually exists is always just right now. That's the only thing that really ever exists, is a constant unfolding of now. And if you chase recovery as something in the future, the paradox of that, right? And I always talk about how everything's just this big grand paradox on the journey of OCD and anxiety recovery. If you chase recovery in the future, what's going to happen is you're always going to be focused on the future. Now, where does OCD and anxiety tend to live? In the mind, in the past and future. So by chasing it in the future, you're in many ways indirectly kind of keeping the OCD and anxiety alive. And when you understand that what recovery is no behaviors, because that way the loop can't exist and your ability to actually experience to the fullness the thoughts and sensations that are uncomfortable, then you realize that if I practice that again and again and again, eventually that loop can't exist, and the energy behind the loop is going to dissipate, because there's nothing permanent when it comes to feelings. Feelings have a beginning and end. And in the sense of when you really get this idea that by breaking the loop, you're going to have to experience like kind of the remnants of that energy, so to speak, the thoughts and the feelings that you don't like. But once you do that, there is a subsiding. And it doesn't mean that you don't have anxiety in the future, or you don't experience the things that really trigger you, or you don't have thoughts that you don't like. But the thing is what recovery is not getting stuck in the loop about it when it happens. It's knowing what to do when it happens and practicing the right stuff consistently. So if you stopped doing behaviors today, like if you really were like, I'm compulsion free, I'm not doing any safety behaviors. No avoiding, no reassurance, no checking, no controlling, no distracting, no escaping, no suppressing, no mental rumination, right? All that stuff. You are practicing recovery. Now, you may not feel recovered, but that's not really relevant, because we don't want to assess how we feel and judge that based as how we're doing. We want to really assess, like, am I engaging in any safety behaviors? Because I know if I'm not closing that circuit of the loop, that energy will rise and it will subside in its own time. That's what recovery is our ability to navigate the emotions when and if they pop up and not get in a loop about them. That's the difference. And so you really can practice recovery today. In fact, recovery can only exist today. It's the only place it can exist. It's the only place where recovery is right now. And the question that you need to ask yourself is, am I practicing recovery? Am I practicing recovery right now? Am I practicing recovery today? Am I practicing poor mental health? Am I practicing OCD and anxiety? And when you really get this idea that it truly is a practice that you're engaging in, and the only time you can engage in it is right now, the only place you can ever look for recovery is right now. And if you start practicing the correct tools and tactics like the AAA response, right, you will eventually see the effect of that. And yes, you'll rise into higher energetic states the better you get at navigating the lower ones. But that's not what recovery is. Right? Recovery is the absence of the loop. And this belief structure about no thoughts, no feelings is oftentimes what holds people running back to safety behaviors, because they have a thought they don't like, or they have a feeling that's uncomfortable, and they run back to safety behaviors. So changing the way you understand recovery matters, because that's how you're going to implement the tools. And understanding that recovery doesn't exist in the future. It only exists right now. And that will get you to focus on what you're doing right now and practice the correct things now, which, if you do that, will eventually unfold a present moment experience of much more peace inside, of stillness, of calmness, of more present moment awareness. Because the energy of fear will rise and subside in the body. The thoughts will calm down, and this will happen. But again, even if they pop back up, which they will from time to time, that's not a relapse or a regression. That's just a normal human experience. The only thing that's abnormal about OCD and anxiety is the loop that gets created by some people. And when you understand that you can break that loop, and you can actually navigate these experiences when and if they happen, that's what helps you maintain recovery. And so letting go of this idea that recovery is in the future and really moving your focus to the idea that recovery is here and now is going to be instrumental for your success. So that's the real point that I want to emphasize in this part here. Again, we have a special live Q&A that's happening Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And so if you're not on our email list, make sure to hop on it so that we can send you the link, because it's the only way that you'll be able to get it. And then Also, yeah, for OCD and Awareness Week, the book From Stuck to Unstuck, my new book, is now available on Amazon, on Kindle for 99 cents for the whole week. And I would really very much appreciate if you would purchase a copy and dive into it and leave a nice review on Amazon. As my hope is that the book is going to take what I'm talking about here, go even deeper for you, and really help you implement this in your life. So with that, thank you for joining as always, and I look forward to seeing you on part 3 of this series. Hey there. So if you enjoyed that video, we've linked up a few more videos that we think you'd find helpful as well. And if you have found this helpful, we'd really appreciate your support by liking and subscribing. And if you're looking for help and guidance, please check out restoredminds.com, as we have several options for you to get started. See you guys soon.